Once each year, as October breezes bluster, there comes a most particular and most peculiar night. An anxious sort of night, when the dark grows a little more so. A jittery sort of night, when nothing is quite as it was. A night called Halloween.
Welcome. So I figured for today's video, let's check out a film from way back, like over 100 years ago. So let's check out the original Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a 1910 American short silent horror film produced by Edison Studios, which you guessed it was made by the slimiest motherfucker who ever lived, Thomas Edison. The film was directed by J. Serodoli, and it's based on the 1918 novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So this short film is generally recognized by film historians as the first screen adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Moreover, since its original release, the film has been listed as missing until the mid-1970s. And in 2010, it was re-restored in HD. Also, keep in mind, the film's cast are not credited in the surviving 1910 print of the film, which includes Augustus Phillips as Dr. Frankenstein, Charles Ogle as Frankenstein's monster, and Mary Fuller as the doctor's fiancée, Elizabeth. So without further ado, let's check it out. The film begins with Dr. Frankenstein as a young student as he bids his sweetheart Elizabeth and his father farewell as he leaves home to enter a college in order to study science.
No shit, Sherlock.
And shortly after his arrival at college, he becomes absorbed in the mysteries of life and death. And his ambition is to create a human being. And finally, one night, his dream is realized. He is convinced that he will find a way to create the perfect human being that the world has ever seen. And we see him creating his being by pouring a shit ton of chemicals in a big ass cauldron. And we get to see his creation come to life. And fun fact, this scene with the monster's creation involved burning a dummy while manipulating its arms and head, and reversing the footage to show the monster taking shape from nothing. Anyways, to Frankenstein's horror, instead of creating a marvel of beauty and grace, he instead creates a ghastly and abhorrent monster. And horrified by his creation, he rushes from the room, only to have the monster peer through a curtain, and he falls fainting to the floor, where he is found by his servant who revives him. And the monster continues to haunt him as he is driven by jealousy and longing, because he's lonely as fuck.
I'm so lonely.
Then we skip forward towards Frankenstein's wedding day, and the monster confronts him and his wife. And later on, when we see the monster, he stands directly from a mirror where he sees his own reflection, and he is horrified by his hideousness. And then, surprisingly, he disappears, and his image still lingers in the mirror as we see Frankenstein looking at it and fades away as his love for his bride purifies his soul.
What the hell is that?
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I mentioned before, the film was lost for a long time, and reviews of this are scarce. And from what I can find, it had mixed reviews at the time. But anyways, what do I think of the movie? And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's nice to see an early adaptation of Frankenstein and how it was brought to the big screen. And the film is pretty much like a speed run through the Frankenstein plot with some bits and pieces missing from the original story. But despite that, it was pretty interesting seeing this version of the Frankenstein story. Not to mention, the monster's creation scene is also both cool and haunting, especially for 1910 standards. I like Charles Ogle's monster, as he is more of a jealous and a less tragic character than Boris Karloff's version. Not to mention, his monstrous appearance gives him a more haunting presence. And his final scene in the mirror is a nice metaphor for Frankenstein, showing that he is the real monster of this story. So I would say check this one out if you're a huge Frankenstein fan. Like, true, it might be less of a horror film. Some people say it's not that scary, but it's still pretty interesting, especially with its gothic imagery. So I would give it 5 out of 5 Frankenstein cauldrons. And that was the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. Oh, and if you like my work, support the channel at Ko-Fi. There you can support me with as little as $1 a month, and you can drop suggestions for any future projects you want to check out, and you get to have your names in the credits. And if you do support me, I thank you very much, and I appreciate it very much. So stay safe out there, and goodbye.